331 runs required. Those are the first runs for Shuak. The batsmen are after 2, fielded in the deep by Giles. Those are the first runs for Tendulkar. That's good bowling.
That is good bowling. Keep it tight. Good line and length. Make the batsman play.
Hit straight to a fielder. 49 overs are left for India. Carrick to begin a new spell. The required run rate has crept up to around 6.5 and over. Long hop and dispatch for 4. That's the first boundary for Tendulkar. Hit straight to a fielder. It's high in the air. That's the first boundary for Shuak. Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off. 48 overs are left for India.
The openers will be looking to take advantage of the fielding restrictions early on.
Shiwag waiting at the striker's end. The run rate stands at just under 6.5 and over. He's worked that into the gap. Giles just picks that up inside the rope. Tendulkar waiting at the striker's end. Hit straight at White. Confident appeal. The umpire's not moving on that one. I thought it looked very close. A very good over. Only one offered in the end.
The fielding restrictions provide the opportunity for attacking batsmen to score some fast early runs.
The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Out, he's caught him.
Great catch. To use the old saying, catches win matches.
Shiwag goes for 7. Laxman is off the mark. Picked up by Vaughan. It's in the air. That's the first boundary for Laxman. Laxman facing. Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off. Tendulkar waiting at the striker's end. He's worked that into the gap. Eight runs came from that over. Goff to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 6.5 and over. Goff to Tendulkar. He looked as if he was home to me. There it goes. Laxman moves into double figures with those runs. That could be a very painful blow. Laxman is now facing. He's got it into the gap. That's the end of the fifth over. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 6.5 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. That's too short, and it's been dispatched before. Tendulkar moves into double figures with those runs. Carrick continues. That's 4 more. That's a risky shot, but he got away with it.
That was quite wide and allowed the batsman room to hit it for 4.
Stopped by White. Tendulkar is now facing. .44 overs are left for India. Goff to begin a new over. The run rate stands at just under 6.5 and over. Flick down to fine leg. Laxman waiting at the striker's end. .293 runs required. Goff at the start of his run-up. He's worked that into the gap. Goff to Tendulkar. India have taken their total on to 1 for 39. Tendulkar is now facing. It's straight at Giles. A very good over. Only 2 off it in the end. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Carrick to Blacksman. That's a great shot. He's timing the ball perfectly today.
Well, you can't afford to overpitch like that. 2 full and dispatched for 4.
1 now for 43. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Goff continues. So they need 288 to win from 249 balls. Hit straight to a fielder. It's in the air. Tendulkar has now moved into the 20s. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 6.5 and over. So they need 284 to win from 244 balls. Carrick continues. .284 runs required. So they need 284 to win from 242 balls. There it goes. Blacksman has moved into the 20s and is starting to look far more relaxed. That's the end of the 10th over. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Great shot by Tendulkar. That really was a super square.
Everything was in the right place there. It fairly raced away to the boundary.
It's in the air. Tendulkar is looking to punish any short deliveries.
Far too short. That got what it deserved. The batsman will have to run these. White doing the fielding. The score is now 1 for 60. Stopped by Giles. He looked as if he was home to me.
39 overs are left for India. We're about to see the first bowling change. The run rate stands at just under 6.5 and over. That's speeding to the boundary. The second wicket pair have moved their partnership on to 51. Stopped by Flintoff. 38 overs are left in the innings. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 7 and over. Oh, big shout for that one. The umpire raised his finger and he's out. Laxman has gone for 22.
He certainly looks a little disappointed with that decision.
Dravid is the next man in. Dravid takes guard. That's the first runs of the day for Dravid. Tendulkar is now facing. Nicely avoided by Tendulkar.
The bowler's certainly got the batsman hopping around out there.
So they need 265 to win from 224 balls. India are 2 for 66. A very good over. Only 2 offered in the end. White to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 7 and over. India have taken their total on to 2 for 67. Tendulkar resisted playing the hook shot.
He's getting a fair working over out there at the moment.
2, now for 69. I think he was easily back in the crease there. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 7 and over. Tucked off his legs. Goff at the start of his run-up. It's straight at night. Gone bold. Goff has struck for England. Tendulkar is finally out for 36.
He was bowled all over the place.
Ganguly takes his place at the crease. White to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. Those are the first runs for Ganguly. Dravid couldn't be tempted into hooking that one.
Excellent bowling. The batsman looked to be in trouble with the short ball.
A very good over. Only 2 off it in the end. Goff to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Ganguly facing. Goff continues. So they need 256 to win from 200 balls. Goff to Ganguly. He's worked that into the gap. India have taken their total on to 3 for 76. The required run rate has crept up to around 7.5 and over. White to Ganguly. So they need 255 to win from 196 balls. Ganguly facing. Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off. So they need 254 to win from 193 balls. White to Drubbed. .32 overs are left in the innings, and we have a change of bowling. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. They have 32 overs to get to 5-2. Dravid facing. So they need 250 to win from 189 balls. Ganguly facing. Now for 81. That's cleared the infield. Ganguly moves into double figures with those runs. White to Drubbed. The required run rate has crept up to around 7.5 and over. That's a big appeal. The umpire turned that one down, but it did look very close. The fielders were very confident about that one, but to no avail. Played into the gap. Batsmen are coming back for two. Trescothick reaches it before it crosses the boundary. 2-4-3, runs required.
Waiting!
White to bowl to Dravid. That's the end of the 20th over. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here.
Yes, no!
They have 30 overs to get. 2-4-3. Hit straight to a fielder. Carrick to Ganguly.
Waiting!
Pushed into the gap.
Yeah.
Picked up by Flintoff. Trouble here. It's in the air. Dravid waiting at the striker's end. Hit straight to a fielder. 29 overs are left for India. White to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. They have 29 overs to get. 240. Expertly held. Ganguly makes his way back to the dressing room.
Very safely taken. Soft hands, that's what's important.
I think he was easily back in the crease there.
Waiting! Yeah.
That's the first runs of the day for Mongia.
Waiting!
That's gone high in the air. That takes him into double figures. That's gone high in the air. That saved a certain fall. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. He smashed that one right out of the ground. He'll be looking for that ball for days.
He smashed that a long way. Great to watch for the neutral, but the bowler won't be too happy.
That moves the score into three figures for India. Hit straight to a fielder. Dravid waiting at the striker's end. It's in the air. Dravid has moved into the 20s and is starting to look far more relaxed.
Go! Right.
Played into the gap. White to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 8 and over. Well, that'll certainly beat the fielder into the fence. That's the first boundary for Mongia. It's in the air. The total is now 4 for 115. Well, that's speeding to the boundary. That takes him into double figures. 26 overs are left in the innings. Carrick to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 8 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. Four for 120. That's straight up in the air. He really struck that well.
That was a nicely timed shot. You don't need to smash the ball to the boundary every time.
So they need 207 to win from 154 balls. Mongia waiting at the striker's end. A nice shot, but it won't make it to the boundary. I think he was easily back in the crease there. Carrick at the start of his run-up. That's the halfway mark, 25 overs. There's a change in the bowling for England. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. 4, now for 127. Well, that's found the gap in the field. Played into the gap.
White.
202 runs required. The batsman will have to run these. Mongia is now facing. The fielder will cut that off. "24 overs are left in the innings. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. There it goes. Mongia has moved into the 20s and is starting to look far more relaxed. They have 24 overs to get, 199. Carrick at the start of his run-up. That's found the gap in the field. Thorpe doing the fielding. Mongia is now on strike. Hit straight at Hussain. It's high in the air. Picked up very early by Mongia.
For all the kids watching out there, that is a perfect example of how to play the shot.
The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. That's found the gap in the field. Mongia waiting at the striker's end. That's found the gap in the field. Dravid waiting at the striker's end. That's found the gap in the field. He looked as if he was home to me. Mongia waiting at the striker's end. "22 overs are left in the innings. There's a change in the bowling with the off-spin of Vaughan. The required run rate has crept up to around 8.5 and over. His fifth wicket partnership is now worth 50. Confident appeal. It's in the air, but it's 4 runs. Really struck that well.
That's the perfect leg glance. Just use the pace of the ball to deflect it to the boundary.
Play it away with comfort. India have taken their total on to 4 for 148. Vaughan to Dravid. That's found the gap in the field. 9 runs came from that over by Vaughan. Giles, to begin a new over, the required run rate is around 8.5, an over. Giles continues.
Go!
That's straight up in the air. The crowd were brought to their feet by that shot.
Yes, that was a lovely shot. He will have enjoyed that one.
Ravid is now facing. So they need 178 to win from 122 balls. It's beaten the fielder, but it won't go all the way. Mongia is now facing. That's the end of the 30th over. Vaughan, to begin a new over, the required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway.
Waiting!
The score is now 4 for 156. Vaughan at the start of his run-up. Well, that's found the gap in the field. Carrick doing the fielding. So they need 173 to win from 117 balls. .173 runs required. Vaughan to Mongia.
Waiting!
Vaughan at the start of his run-up.
Waiting!
In the air and gone. Mongia eventually goes for 42.
That was a bad shot. He really seemed to lose concentration.
The new batsman won't have to face just yet. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here.
Waiting!
Well, that's found the gap in the field. The batsmen are coming back for a second.
Yeah.
Badani is off the mark.
Waiting!
There it goes.
Waiting!
Out, he's caught him. Ravid is finally out for 41.
He got into great position to take that catch.
Mongia facing his first ball. It's straight at Flintoff. There's a mix-up with the batsman. I think he was easily back in the crease there. 18 overs are left for India. Vaughan to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. There it goes. That's the first boundary for Badani.
Wait there!
Vaughan at the start of his run-up.
Wait there!
Oh, that's gone a long way. That was sheer power.
The bowler can't believe it, but it is out of the ground. 6 runs.
Vaughan to Mongia.
Hey!
154 runs required. That's 13 off the over now. This over is proving to be quite expensive. Vaughan to bowl to Mongia. There it goes. We were diving for cover with that one.
Well, he really hit that a long way. Exciting stuff.
Seventeen overs are left for India. Giles to bowl to Badani. Now the run rate stands at just over 8.5 and over. He's worked that into the gap. Knight just picks that up inside the rope. There's a mix-up with the batsman.
Waiting!
That's straight up in the air. Badani moves into double figures with those runs.
Yeah!
It's straight at Hussain.
Right?
It's high in the air. Carrick out at long on. 16 overs are left in the innings. The required run rate has crept up to around 8.5 and over. Played into the gap.
Right? Right?
Batsmen are after 2. Flintoff just picks that up inside the rope. That's gone high in the air. Badani has now moved into the 20s. Vaughan to Badani.
Yes! Waiting!
Played into the gap.
Yes!
Hit straight to a fielder. That's the end of the 35th over. Giles, to begin a new over, the required run rate has crept up to around 8.5 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. Flintoff reaches it before it crosses the boundary. Badani is now facing. A nice shot, but it won't make it to the boundary. Stopped in the covers. Giles at the start of his run-up. It's high in the air. That came right off the middle of the bat.
The bowler can't believe it, but it is out of the ground. 6 runs.
It's straight at night. Giles is back in the attack.
Yes! Go!
14 overs are left for India. Now the run rate stands at just over 8.5 and over. Vaughan continues. Superb shot. Badani very quickly onto that one.
Really good shot there. Nicely timed and picked the gap perfectly.
Yeah! Go!
Vaughan continues. Vaughan continues. Giles, to begin a new over, the required run rate has crept up to around 9 and over.
Right, right, right.
One 8 runs required. Giles continues. Giles continues.
Wait there!
That's straight up in the air. Partnership for the 7th wicket is now 50. There should be some runs here. Overs are left for India. Vaughan to continue with his off-spin. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here.
Wait there!
It's in the air. Mongia is now on strike. The score is now 6-4-1-7. Vaughan to Mongia.
Go!
He's gone over the top with that, and it looks like 4 runs. Mongia has now moved into the 20s. It's high in the air. Oh. We're about to see a change in the bowling. The required run rate has crept up to around 9.5 and over.
Yes!
That's gone high in the air. He picked the length quickly with that one.
That was a good shot. He saw it early and got into position quickly.
Waiting!
There it goes. That's straight up in the air. And he's got away with it. Oh, he's dropped it. That's gone high in the air. The crowd were brought to their feet by that shot.
That was beautifully played. He was well over the top of the ball.
That's the end of the 40th over. The run rate stands at just under 9.5 and over. It's high in the air. That nearly joined us up here in the commentary box.
That's a demoralising sight for any bowler, seeing the ball sail over the fence.
Vaughan to bowl to Mongia. It's in the air. It's straight at night. There's a mix-up with the batsman. I think he was easily back in the crease there. Badani facing. There was a cracking delivery from Vaughan. He's worked that into the gap. The batsmen are coming back for a second. Nine overs are left in the innings. Flintoff to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Great shot by Badani. He was onto that in a flash.
Really good shot there. Nicely timed and picked the gap perfectly.
That's a big hit. It's 6. He smashed that a long way.
That was a super shot. I really didn't think it was too bad a ball.
Badani facing. That's a big hit. It's 6. That went a long way back into the stands.
Exciting stuff. He took a risk, but was well rewarded as the ball disappeared over the fence.
Flintoff is back in the attack. Badani raises his bat to the crowd to acknowledge the applause. Badani has reached his 50 from 41 balls. India move on to 258.
Run. No.
8 overs are left in the innings. The run rate stands at just under 9 and over.
Run.
Badani facing.
White. Go.
Hit straight at night. Vaughan to bowl to Badani.
White.
It's in the air. The total is now 6 for 263. Mongia is now on strike. Brilliantly caught.
The batsman will be kicking himself over that. It wasn't a great shot and he looked to be in good form.
So then, that's the end of Mongia.
Well, they're through to the tail now and should tie up the innings quickly.
The next batsman is Khan. Vaughan gets his second wicket. India are 7 down now for 263. The new batsman won't have to face just yet. The required run rate has crept up to around 9.5 and over. That's straight up in the air. That was still going up as it cleared the rope.
Well, he really hit that a long way. Exciting stuff.
Flintoff at the start of his run-up. It's in the air. He responded that in a flash.
The bowler needs to avoid giving away boundaries, so he must keep it tight.
Confident appeal. The umpire's not moving on that one. All I can say is that it looked very, very close. It's in the air. Really struck that well.
Really good shot there. Nicely timed and picked the gap perfectly.
So there was 14 off that over. The required run rate is around 8.5 and over. That's the first runs of the day for Khan. That's cut off by Flintoff. He's got it into the gap. The batsmen are looking for 2. think he was easily back in the crease there. Badani is now on strike. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway.
Yes.
The batsmen are looking for three, fielded by Flintoff.
Go.
47 runs required. That's the end of the 45th over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Flintoff to bowl to Khan.
Run.
Badani is now on strike. Overpitched and four. That was four the moment it left his bat.
That was a nicely timed shot. You don't need to smash the ball to the boundary every time.
That's gone high in the air. That required perfect timing.
That's the perfect leg glance. Just use the pace of the ball to deflect it to the boundary.
There it goes. Flintoff was not impressed.
You could see the batsman's eyes light up when he saw that one coming.
Four overs are left for India. The required run rate is around 8 and over.
Yes.
It's high in the air.
Wait there.
Well, that's found the gap in the field. Badani moves into the 90s. Vaughan is back in the attack.
Wait.
Didn't quite get hold of that one properly. Khan facing. Vaughan to bowl to Khan. Tucked off his legs. Vaughan continues.
Wait there.
The fielder will cut that off. Three overs are left for India. Flintoff to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 8 and over.
Yes.
There it goes.
Wait.
Just a kitten's whisker away from the stumps. Flintoff to bowl to Khan. That must be close. The umpire raised his finger and he's out. So then, that's the end of Khan. That's straight up in the air. That's the first boundary for Singh. England are making a change in the bowling. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Badani is now on strike. There it goes. Well, that was 6 as soon as he hit it.
The bowler won't like that one little bit.
That's gone high in the air. Hasn't been easy by any means, but he can enjoy this moment. There's his century. White is proving to be a little expensive. It's high in the air. Picked up very early by Badani.
Cracking shot. He's in great form.
These are the bowling figures. White has bowled 8 overs, 1 for 45. Now the run rate stands at just over 6 and over. I didn't quite get hold of that one properly. Flintoff to Badani. Badani is now on strike. It's in the air. Badani very quickly onto that one.
Cracking shot. The secret there was that he got his feet into position early and had plenty of time to play the shot.
Flintoff continues. Let's take a look at how the innings has gone so far. That's gone high in the air. The bowler won't like that one little bit.
Exciting stuff. He took a risk, but was well rewarded as the ball disappeared over the fence.
So to sum up then, India win by 2 wickets.